there's a lot of people in the world who made drum digesters. And throughout history as well. Like, if you look around the internet, there's all these kind of people, a bit like James Burkott, who are just like, you know, making it their place and written a book on it and this kind of stuff. And then you can also make a small version of this, a much smaller one, and then same idea. And you can have a gas valve, and then you have a valve.
So you'd have one in and one out, you're saying?
Yeah, you have one in for the slurry. You have a small one, a very small one for the gas, and then the liquid actually. The way I've built it is that it comes out over here, and well, this can be tightened. If you tape this, it will become gas tight and watertight. So
how did you cut in here then? What tools do you use to cut into this plastic?
You can do it with like a very sharp knife. But if you take straight up the whole side.
To apply that whole hand.
Oh yeah.
Not for very small.
Okay, yeah.
This is a really poor quality hole saw. With something like this, you drill it and it cuts a hole for you. And they have big ones. They have ones that are this size. They're a bit expensive, but and the nice thing about these, the reason we use these tanks is because they're flat. So obviously, if you want to tighten something like this onto the side of a tank, you want it to be flat. Yeah. So then you have a very
fittings. Are they like swimming pool fittings?
yeah. You can they're used in boats, they're used in industry, and they're used in like ponds and pools for people.
Like a water.
Yeah. Now it's important to get good quality ones that are gas tight. Because some of them are out there that are not gas tight.
Why does that usually gas tight if it's below the level?
Well, because when you open this valve, the water comes out, and
It's going to drop.
it will drop a little bit, and the lowest that it'll be is here. But that means that this corner is exposed to gas. And maybe we don't need to open it, you can just imagine, and you can check later, that when this pipe comes in, there's another fitting inside, and the pipe curves down. And that's really important because that means that when the water level is at the bottom, the gas can't get out here. So I could draw it somewhere. Does that make sense?
But you could, like on oil tanks, have those clear tubes telling you the level.
Yeah, you could also do
set
that.
something like that, so it's telling you exactly how high it is.
But even if you have that, you want to make sure there's no gas escaping here, so the pipe comes in here and curves down just on the inside of the table. And if we open this, you can see it, but again, it stinks kind of bad. Okay, so that's the whole story. That's as simple as it is. You have a mixer, you have a
Except that if you don't have pressure, it will drive the liquid up this pipe and it will come out.
Absolutely, that's right.
So if you leave it without using the gas one and it's building up pressure elsewhere, you want to say so?
Eventually, that will happen. What the best thing to do is to have a this valve is open, so that this is connected to a small bulkhead fitting. The gas pipe comes out. That's how we did it outside. The gas flows into a floating drum, and so this is simpler because this just floats itself. But well, for various reasons, this can actually be, in my experience, is a little bit easier to build from like 21 flows wide, and you find two drums such that it's floating in water, and again you don't have this problem with the shit smear on the side of it. So, and you basically, if you have the drum that's the same size as the digester which stores gas, so roughly the same volume of gas storage and digester, it won't exceed its own volume per day. And if you want to slow down the gas production, you turn down the temperature.
What's the highest? If you build this on a cold day, say it's 12 degrees outside, or wherever you're building it, and then you're going to crank it up to
35, 40.
right, not any higher.
No.
So if any thermal difference changes, wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different types of bacteria that do digestion, and there's some that are low temperature, some that are medium temperature, and some that are quite high temperature. And they all have a different optimum. But
If you're using cow.
in a simple situation, you want to do this, and if you slowly turn the temperature up a degree every day or something, then you could potentially get up to 50 and it could still run. But
They're broad enough.
it's kind of questionable. And okay, so that's the digester.
If I turn the heat off for a few days,
Yeah.
it's not going to kill the...
No.
So, but
That's-
say the weekend's coming, I want lots of gas.
Just turn off the heat.
I can put the heat back in a few days before.
Not even. I mean, if you turn up the heat, they'll be ready to go. These bacteria are really nice in that they're not too fussy, and as long as the only problem is if the heat is high and they don't have anything to eat, then they start dying. But if you have the heat low, they'll just sit. I mean, they'll probably die at a certain rate, but even like months, they might still live, especially if it's like 10 degrees or something.
And where do I get them from? Do I have to inoculate it?
Cow manure.
So I have to go out to the field and get some pats.
We got a couple of buckets here. We were out there yesterday with a shovel and following the cows around. Dead serious.
So that's what you do. Follow the cows.
You know what's even better than cow manure is digested cow manure. So if you find somebody with a digester, you get the bacteria directly, especially one of these big ones. The farmer would probably give you as much as you can to handle.
If we're out in like alone,
Yeah.
West Dorset, I
There's
just
another
go around
digester.
behind some cows.
Yeah, or find a farmer that has a slurry pit. They scrape the floor in these big.
Very slowly.
Yeah. Horse? Cows have four. Part of it is the four stomachs, and part of it, cows produce a lot of milk. So, horse manure is not as good. Do they have four stomachs? Maybe. Just sheep is so small, and it's hard to. It's important that it's wet.
Good at all because they don't seeds, do they? I've heard.
Yeah, well, you can put in seeds. I mean, you can put in weeds directly. You can put in grass clippings directly. So I mean, it's horse is kind of part way in between, I guess. Because James just puts in weeds directly, which works well.
If you shred green waste,
Yeah.
if you've got enough of it, that reaches the temperature and has all those bacteria.
The difference is though, if it's in a digester, it doesn't reach the temperature by itself. Yeah, because only when it's composting or when it's in the oxygen, that reaction, it's almost like burning or oxidization. And all of that energy goes into heating, whereas in a digester, you get it out in the form of gas. I'll just quickly go through the sensors. Like, this is, again, in India, who cares, right? I mean, and they're not as efficient, but if you put something like one of these thermocouples, this is totally available, and again, Guy can source it, or we'll probably try and set something up for CCN, online procurement or shop for some of these components. But anyway, this is a temperature thermometer, temperature thermocouple, whatever. You can have one of these in the bottom. That's what we did outside. This is what was coming out the top. So this is what you saw coming out the top. You can connect it. I also have this one here, which is actually belongs to me, and it is something. It's a little bit more expensive. It's like 60, 80 pounds, but you can plug it into your computer, the USB port, and then you can track temperature over time. So you have it. You know exactly how the temperature went overnight or something like that. And especially in the beginning, it's nice to know what's going on inside your reactor. Again, I showed you the pH strips. Mine is very cheap.
So what sort of heater have you got in here?